A number of years ago, the IRS changed their process and they require a responsible party for the requesting of an EIN. It's just an internal process procedure that the IRS has. This is a question from Robert Falk, and Robert says, I am opening an LLC for an operating company to hold real estate specifically. When filing for an EIN for this new LLC, the registered agent wants me to fill out a form asking for the responsible party and wants me to put my name and social security number. I thought I could do this using the holding company information, but it is not allowing me to do this. I called them and they said that I have to add the info of a natural person that has a social security number. Is this correct? Wouldn't all of this be displayed in public info and defeat the purpose of having the holding company? Well, Robert, that is an excellent question. And I know that a number of other entrepreneurs here in our community have had similar questions. Let me break it down for you this way. When you apply for an EIN, which is a tax ID number for any entity that you wish to have the ability to operate financial accounts, etc., when you apply for an EIN, the process of filling out something called an SS4, that's the IRS's document that a business owner completes in order to secure an EIN for a particular entity. A number of years ago, the IRS changed their process and they require a responsible party for the requesting of an EIN. It's just an internal process procedure that the IRS has. So whether you're filling out the SS4 or a registered agent is filling out the SS4 on your behalf, a natural person is required to be the responsible party. You can't have an entity as the responsible party. Now, what is the role of the responsible party? Well, the responsible party is the person to whom correspondence from the IRS will be mailed. So when the IRS is going to send information regarding the EIN, for instance, the letter notifying you of the EIN's issuance, that gets sent to the responsible party. And the IRS noticed that there were a number of individuals that were going out and they were creating these company farms, if you will. They'd set up all of these separate EINs and essentially try to sell them based on aging. They've essentially limited that by saying each natural person is only permitted to secure one EIN per day. So when you are filling out that requirement that either you are doing on your own, the SS4, or if you're utilizing a registered agent and they're asking for who the responsible party is going to be, that's why they're asking for that. The concept of the responsible party, though, is not a public disclosure item, meaning if you fill out your name and your social security number, that does not get issued to public record for public inspection. The IRS is collecting it, obviously. The IRS will warehouse that information, but just like everything else that the IRS collects, they are required to hold that in confidence. They're not permitted to share that with the public. So that should not cause any angst on your part when you're setting up these processes. It does not negate anonymity, but it is an excellent question. And I can absolutely appreciate how one could perceive that this could be something that could be challenging, but 100%, it is not a challenge at all. It is a very routine process that the IRS has now for their tax ID number acquisition process, right? The setup and establishment of that EIN. But at the end of the day, it's not going to cause any issues with regard to public disclosure. So great question. Hopefully you've gotten some value from that particular answer. Thanks for watching. If you got value from this video and you'd like to see another video on the topic of how to properly structure your business, go ahead and put this one on the list.